Hey guys, just a quick video for you today. I saw a clip of Joe Biden, the puppet in the White House, the other day. He was talking about weapons of war and how if you need 80 rounds in a magazine, then you don't need a gun, you know, or something like that. Here's the clip.
If you need 80 shots in a magazine, you shouldn't own a gun.
I'd love to find an 80-round magazine. Most of my magazines are 30-round, although I do have some 60 rounds and I think an occasional 40-round. But an 80-round magazine, yeah, I'd buy that if affordable. However, most of us probably don't have 80-round magazines. But really what it did is it brought back to my mind a little bit of history. And as you know, on this channel, I like to talk about history. So it brings me back to this rifle right here. This is a 30-40 Krag. Now, this rifle that I'm holding right now, amazingly in its condition, look at that, beautiful rifle, is over 120 years old. 120 years old. And this has a particular part in U.S. history. 120. This was actually something that was issued by the United States military out of the Springfield Armory. This is a 30-40 Krag. And this rifle right here was used by Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders, who ran up San Juan Hill, an amazing, part of history. And this 30-40 Krag, now this one here in particular probably wasn't, part of the Rough Riders who ran up San Juan Hill. And I think it's been partially restored. It's got amazing bluing on it. And it's been sporterized. Most of you guys would know, but just by looking at it and knowing a little bit of history about the 30-40 Krag, know that this was sporterized. And what they did, they produced this in mass numbers. And after a certain amount of time, when these were retired or another issue was put out by the United States military, a different type of rifle, they would take all of these things and they would sporterize them for the hunters back at home, so they could use those on the home front, to hunt deer or for self-defense or whatever. But this was a weapon of war. And the reason this thing is so significant, this rifle here is so significant, is because before this, all they had for a rifle round, was the trapdoor, I think it was the Spencer, the trapdoor rifle round where you could only shoot one round at a time. One round at a time. And then comes the 30-40 Krag Jorgensen. This rifle right here was invented by a couple of guys, I believe, from Norway.
I'm Norwegian.
And this thing took a rifle round that loaded 5 rounds at a time in a box magazine on the side. See that? You dropped your 5 rounds in, and you could top it off at any time. You could just open it back up and drop more rounds in, and had a really smooth action. And so this was a complete game changer. You mean I don't have to shoot one rifle round at a time anymore? No, you can have an actual rifle round repeater. Now, they had the old lever action, Henrys or Golden Boys, whatever, Yellow Boys, whatever you wanted to call them back then, but those were little tiny bullets. Those were not rifle rounds. So this was the first rifle round repeating rifle that the U.S. military adopted and issued to its soldiers. I believe it served during some sort of conflict in Cuba. And then again, the Rough Riders in San Juan Hill, used and carried these. Anyway, all that to say is that you went from a one single round, one at a time weapon of war to now a 5-round weapon of war. And then they gave these weapons of war to the public. Here you go. It's been sporterized. You can now have these dangerous weapons of war that were once issued to the United States military. Imagine that. Absolute insanity. Why on earth would they do that? Why would they give these weapons of war to the public? But they did. They did. And see, the only difference is between this that's been sporterized and an AR-15 that's been sporterized is that one holds 30 rounds. But they're still weapons of war. Back in, 1920, Joe Biden would have had a conniption fit had you given this 5-round weapon of war to the average, 6-pack a day Joe Schmo out there. Anyway, beautiful Krag rifle. And one of the things that made this obsolete, it was not issued by the United States military very long because it had a single locking bolt. And so the rifle round that it did fire, even though it was more powerful than what they had before, it was a smokeless powder rifle round. It only had a single bolt, and so the Mauser that came out recently after that, that eventually became the 1903 Springfield, had a double locking bolt, and you could even fire even a more powerful rifled bullet, weapon of war. Even more powerful than this, and that had a 5-round magazine in it as well. So anyway, I thought, as I saw that clip from old Joe Biden, again, it's just the insanity of what he's talking about, a weapon of war. If you need 80 rounds in your rifle, you don't need a gun. Well, what happened when they went from 1 bullet to 5 rounds? If you need, what do you need 5 rounds for? If you need 5 rounds in your gun, you only need 1 bullet to go hunting. You don't need to go give these weapons of war to the public. Do you see the insanity here? It's not about the gun. It's about the heart. Where's the heart issue? In 1960, I've said this before on my channel, 1960, we took the Bible out of schools by law. There was no more teaching the Bible in schools. What was so wrong with teaching kids it's wrong to murder? You know, thou shalt not murder. What was so wrong with teaching kids thou shalt not steal? Thou shalt not, lie? See, we've taken these things out of our conscience, out of our mindset. And now we have a world today that has no problem lying and stealing and murdering. And we see the things in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and all these other places, San Francisco, where everyone's just sitting on the street corners getting high. And all of the crime and all of the stores that are just closing down because they can't deal with all the looting anymore. We've done this to ourselves because we took morals, a moral compass out of America. And now actual weapons of war are used to kill our own people by the hands of our own people. We're reaping what we've sown by taking the moral compass out. It's a heart issue. It's not a gun issue. We've always had weapons of war, and we've never had the lack of a moral compass before, and now we do. And so we're seeing the result of that. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Hey, listen, guys, I really appreciate you hitting that like button, and I really, really appreciate you guys sharing my videos. YouTube is doing whatever they can to keep new audience people from finding my videos. The way around that is to share my videos on social media. If you like my videos, if you enjoy the content that I bring, please share my videos. Be sure to like them and share them on social media, whether it's Twitter, whether it's socials, whether it's whatever, wherever you go, Facebook, God help you, or wherever. Please share my videos, and so I can find a new audience. YouTube puts videos up on people's feeds. Hey, if you like these videos, you might like this video. My videos are basically zero for reaching new audience right now, and they're doing that on purpose. So, because I show dastardly weapons of war on my channel. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Put that down. Be sure to check out our merchandise over at teespring.com. Our best-selling shirt, Stupid Should Hurt. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful, awful lot less people trying to take away those weapons of war. And you can find that links in the description below. And be sure, again, to share our videos. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye!
Hello, everybody. I'm Dean Cain, and I am a big fan of American Homestead, as are you, or you wouldn't be seeing this right now. I'm in my backyard, my homestead, where I grow lots of fruit and vegetables. Look, both Zach and I are big fans of history, and we are watching the economic situation in our country just like you are. We absolutely love this country, and it's very difficult for us to watch it struggle financially. Now, did you know that the Constitution of the United States, in Article 1, Section 10, only allows for legal currency to be minted in gold and silver? I bet you didn't. I wasn't aware. But our founders, in their wisdom, they understood that this was the true way to build a solid financial foundation for this new nation. And they were right. They were dead right. These principles rocketed the industry and the economy that made the United States the powerhouse that we now enjoy. However, today, the US dollar, it's not backed up by anything of real value. And here we are. Now, our friends at Genesis Gold Group are helping people stuck in 401ks, IRAs, and anyone else who's watching their hard-earned wealth teeter on the edge of oblivion by moving their money out of risky paper-denominated assets and into physical precious metals like gold and silver. You can touch it. I'm doing it myself. So is my sister. Call Genesis Gold Group today and let them help you develop a plan to safeguard your assets. It's simple. You can call the number on the screen or visit them at genesisgoldgroup.com. And I will see you next time on the homestead with my dogs and all the fruit that I grow. Look at all this good stuff. You know, we got nectarines. More dogs coming down. If you get cut, we got some aloe vera for you. What I do need, though, is chickens. I need chickens because eggs are about the same price as gold right now. Anyway, see you on the homestead.